Hey guys, welcome back to another problem solving tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys how to solve Leetcode question 739, daily temperatures. So the question asks us to, basically the question has given us a list of days in the form of an array, and these represent temperatures on each day. So for day 1 it'd be 73, day 2 74, day 3 75, like so. And it's basically asking us to return an array of the same length, and in each index it's going to say how many days for that current day, how many days you have to wait until you get a higher temperature, so a warmer day. So for example, in the answer to this, on day 1 you need to wait exactly 1 day to get a warmer temperature, right? Because you just need to wait until day 2 when the temperature is 74. So here we just put 1. Now here again, in day 2 we need to wait 1 day because the next day is warmer. But for 75 we need to wait 1, 2, 3, 4 days until we get to a warmer temperature. Now 71, again we have to wait 1, 2 days. For 69 we only have to wait 1 day because the next day is immediately warmer. 72, same thing, only 1 day. For 76, well, there's no days ahead of it which are warmer, and therefore if we listen to the instructions here, if there's no further day for which is possible, set it equal to 0. So we put a 0 here, and finally for 73, since it's the final day, there's obviously not going to be anything warmer, so we're just going to put 0 there as well. Okay, there we go, that's how we get the answer. So hopefully you can see we're simply just trying to get the next greater temperature for each day. Okay, now how are we going to do this? Well, you might be thinking we can do something where we have on each day we're just going to go forward, and we're just going to go forward until we get to a warmer day, and that will work, but it's quite slow because for each day we have to do an entire loop, another loop, so that's going to be O of n squared time complexity. So a better way of doing it is, you'll notice if you get a day which is warmer than the day before, we can just get rid of all these, essentially sign off these all until we get to a day which is warmer. So I'll show you guys what that means, and that is going to mean we're using a stack. So 73, let's just say the stack is first starts as empty. Okay, when you add 73, we check if the stack has anything behind it. Since it doesn't, we're just going to add 73, first element, doesn't really matter. Now 74, well, we're basically looking for previous temperatures which were colder, because if it's colder, then it means that this current temperature is warmer. So we're looking for previous temperatures which are colder, so we take the 74, we see 73 is colder, so we sign off we'll just say temperature 73, and then we just add this to the stack. Then here, when we get to 75, again we see 75 is greater than 74, so we sign off temp 74, and then we add 75. And when we get to 71, well, the stack has currently got 75 and that's it. So 71 is not actually bigger than 75, so therefore we can't sign off 75 yet. So we're just going to add it just straight away, and you can see since 71 is lower, this is going to be more likely to get signed off as for the next one, since it's lower, so there's a higher chance of a number being greater than it. But anyways, once we get to 69, we'll see, check the stack, and notice how this is the lowest item in the stack, because if this was bigger, then it would just replace it and go to the end. So the first item in the stack is always going to be the lowest item, which is really useful because we only have to compare it to this now. 69 is again smaller than 71, so we can't sign anything off just yet. So we'll add 69 to the stack. Then once we get to 72, 72 is bigger than 69 and 71, so sign off 69 and 71, and then the stack just becomes 75, 72, And hopefully you guys can see where this is going. 76, this is going to let us sign off everything, sign off 72 and 75. So for each number, we're just trying to go backwards in the stack as far as we can, signing off all numbers. And I'll just finish this off. Finally, for 73, that's not going to be bigger, so we're just going to leave it. And notice the items left in the stack are basically the items which aren't able to be signed off, so therefore these items won't get signed off. Now what I mean by sign off is, well, we have the item which is bigger than it, so in this case we have 74 with sign off 73, so we know the index of this, we can store the index of that, and we need to calculate the distance. So that's what I mean by sign off. Anyways, now let's implement this. So we're going to need a stack, of course. Now we're going to leap through the temperatures, but I'm also going to get the index, just so that, because we're going to obviously need the index to calculate the length of time or distance to the next day. And I'm also going to just create the answers array at the very start. So we can just create a new array, the length of this, and we're going to fill it with zeros, because when we sign off we're going to be setting these, setting each index of this, so if these numbers never get signed off then they'll just be 0 by default, so therefore we don't need to actually set them to 0 at the end, which saves time. Okay, so for each number what we're going to do is going to do while number is greater than the top item on the stack, so stack.length, and I'll just do this for now. If the number is greater than this top number, like if 74, this was greater, so while this is true we're going to sign off the top number of the stack. So we do sign off temperature is going to be the top item, so we're going to just pop it, and we have the current index which is I, we have the index of a sign off temperature, and this is why I need to put the index in, so we'll store the number and we'll also store the index like so. So we have the index of each number, and then we of course going to have to compare with the number. So now we have the sign off index equals sign off temperature dot index. Okay, and now we just have to do some maths to calculate this distance. So we know I is always going to be bigger than the sign off this index. We can look at the first example. So if we have, this is going to be index 1, this is going to be index 0, the distance between them is therefore just 1 minus 0, so we'll just say const distance is equal to I minus sign off index. And now we just have to set this sign off index to this distance, so answers sign off index equals distance, and there we go. That is it. Of course we do need to add the number on, because we're deleting all numbers which are going to be smaller than it, so that means the numbers which remain are either bigger than or equal to it. So let's just add this in, stack.push, I'm going to put number, current number, and index, I, like so. There we go, and it's as simple as that. So let's just return the answers. Let me give you guys an example. Console.log daily temperatures. Put in this array, and we will run this. Oh, okay, let's see what's happened here. Cannot read properties of undefined. Oh yeah, okay, so I think I know what the problem is here, but just to make sure, okay, I know what the problem is. So the problem is, I'll just show you guys. Let's console.log the stack. So the stack is empty and we're trying to get it. So that's the issue. The issue is just because the stack is empty and we're trying to retrieve an element. That's why it says cannot read properties of undefined. So we need to add a second condition here, and stack.length is greater than 0, just to ensure there's going to be items in the stack. Okay, what's happened here now? Oh, and I have to put it before so that this doesn't get triggered. Okay, there we go. So you can see we've got the right answers, 1100, and there we go. So it's really as simple as that. We're just looking for the next greater temperature, so we're looping through and then checking for each element the prior elements before and trying to sign them off to sign off those days. Then just the sign off is just finding the distance and then setting that into the answers array. Anyways, just to show you guys this works, I'm going to put this into here and submit. Okay, and yeah, there we go. So the memory is quite bad. I think that's probably because we're setting so many variables here. But yeah, other than that, you can see we have some pretty good runtime, beats 81%, so pretty good. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a future tutorial. Bye!